Hi, and welcome to Tech Venture. So today we are back with the LG Wing, and I got a good time with it, about actually almost a month now. So I really tested this one out. But I do, of course, like usual, start with the bad things. The first thing is when it is open in this position, you do get things that are cut off. For example, I'm gonna show you the screenshot that I took right here. As you see the comments, it's cut off right there at the very end. But that could be a software fix, so that's not really a big deal with the actual phone. It's more of probably a YouTube thing because that was on YouTube. And now the second thing is going to be how thick it is. So obviously, I don't know if you can see that as well. It is a pretty thick phone. Now, it is thick for a good reason, but I mean, it is thick. It's thicker than most phones. It's thicker than probably any phone on the market right now. And yes, this is a year-old phone, but it's still pretty cool to play with and look at. Also, because of its thickness, obviously it has that cool thing, you can't actually touch the screen while you're opening it up. So let's say I'm opening it halfway like that, or let's do that again. You're opening it, you can't touch. Now, I'm pretty sure they did that so while you're doing it with your finger, it doesn't touch something. But sometimes while you're opening it, you kind of want to real quick, or you forget because you're opening it real quick, you want to tap an app. But I didn't notice that, but I feel like it's better that they did. But that is a thing. That is something that you have to know about it. Also, the camera, it's not the best camera quality. It's okay. For 2020 is when this came out. Like I said, a year ago. It's okay, but like nowadays, it's not gonna pass for like the best smartphones. Now, this was technically a flagship when LG released it. So when you compare it to a flagship camera, it's okay. It's not the best, but yeah. I did like it, and you do have a couple cool features that I'll talk about with the camera later on in the video. But because this phone flips up, it is kind of easy to slip out of your hand. So like, let's say you're holding it or pulling out of your pocket, and it goes like that. It's really easy to slip out of your hands, especially that when it opens up, there's another screen and stuff like that. So I did notice that. I mean, because of it slipping a lot, I got a couple scratches on there. And for the first time ever, we do have a broken phones, guys. Broken phone. Did break this one. Now, this does look like it fell on a corner, so we're gonna blame it on the corner and not me dropping it, but yeah. And since we're talking about the back, I will say it is going to be really hard to repair LG phones. That is another bad thing about it, because obviously, as everyone knows by now, LG no longer makes phones. They still make TVs, you know, all their appliances and stuff like that, but they do not make phones anymore. So if you do end up breaking this, you'll either have to find someone to fix it or fix it yourself, which technically with most Androids, it does start with the back. So this would be an easy fix, but I don't know if you can find parts. You probably could, not really, probably off-brand parts, but like I said, if you aren't really into fixing phones or fixing things, then it's going to be hard to find someone to fix it for you. So that is going to be something that's bad about it. Now, another thing, speaker-wise, you do not actually get stereo speakers. You only get just one speaker down here, and I'm not going to lie, it's garbage. It's not good. It's absolutely the worst speaker I've heard on a flagship. But it does get loud, but it's nowhere near as any other phones. Even just like a normal $700 phone that has stereo speakers, like let's say the iPhone 13 or 12 even. So yeah, like I said, it gets loud, but it's not gonna cut it. It's not gonna cut it at all. Now, also talking about things that it doesn't have, reverse wireless charging. It does not have that. It does have wireless charging, but not reverse wireless charging like most of the phones I've tested so far. Now, this did come out last year. I'm not sure if I don't think there was that many with phones with reverse wireless charging. It was just like Samsung's. So I kind of want to give it a pass, but at the same time, I mean, they cut off some other stuff like the speakers, for example. But the last thing that I kind of realized with this is because the screen moves, it does get a little squeaky when you push down. So when you're like clicking something, I don't know if you guys can hear it. Actually, hold on. Yeah, it's not doing it right now, but like when you first, after you first flip it and flip it back, it does have a little bit of a squeak to it, because obviously the screen does move. But I mean, you don't notice it as much. It's just those random times where you'll be pressing and it's all quiet around you and then you'll hear it. But that is all the bad things. So, I mean, not too many for a phone that's a year old. On to the good things. The first thing is obviously the design. It doesn't actually look that bad. So it looks normal, you know, 3 cameras on the back, like most phones, and then you get the flashlight. On the front, you just get the curved edges as well as a long 6.8-inch screen, which is actually really good. That's one of the good things as well. You get a large screen on it. And then my favorite thing about this thing is that it doesn't look like it does flip up, or it doesn't look like it does any of that cool stuff. So for example, right now, it just looks like a normal phone. Yes, it's really, really thick, but it doesn't look like you can then just push this side and boom, now you have 2 screens. You also, yes, you can use this as like a second screen to like use a different app. You don't always have to have the same app here, but it is pretty cool and smart on whatever app you have here, and you're using a different app down here, like let's say YouTube, and you want to comment on a video. Even if you're like texting someone down here, it will move down the keyboard down here, and it's pretty smart about it. It's pretty cool. But yeah, so that's part of the design as well. But another thing I wanted to talk about that's really cool about this phone is the camera pops up. So this camera right here, there we go, pop it up. You see that, how it popped up right there? And then if you flip it, it will also go down, or flip it to the front facing or the rear facing camera, and you can see it pops back up. And it does also have a feature where, let's say you drop it. Well, let's say you drop it harder than that. There it goes. It will go down, and it will actually give you a message saying the front camera has been closed to protect it. Yeah, so it does give you that. And when you hit OK, it does come back up. Now, obviously, you have to hit it for it to, you know, go down. So you might be wondering, what if it gets damaged from me dropping it? Well, that's where that thing I talked about, where it's going to be hard to repair. But I mean, it's a cool thing because then it gives you that full screen and you get a little notch at the top. So I did like that. Also, in the camera app, still talking about the camera, in the camera app, if you actually open it like this, it becomes a gimbal. So I'll show you here in a second once it pops up. There we go. So right here, as you can see, it is a camera right here, and I'm going to start moving it without moving the phone. So there it is. There it is, and you can move it. It's really, really cool. You can move it up too. And yeah, and it shows you the camera down here as well. I don't know if this is the highest brightness. Let me higher the brightness. Maybe. Well, here. Let's see. Yeah, and like I said, sometimes it does have situations like that. There we go. So, back up. Open it to the gimbal part. And it does switch back when you get out of the gimbal. But yeah, you see the camera right there. It moves around when you move it, and it's actually pretty stable. I really like this feature, especially that you don't have to move. Like I said, you can move it with that little joystick there. So that's another cool thing about the camera. Now, probably my favorite part about this whole phone is when you are too lazy to turn your phone, because obviously sometimes when you watch videos, you got to turn your phone like this. You can cover the camera, you know, cover the speaker, annoying things like that. Well, if you get too lazy and you just want to watch the video, you know, landscape mode, but still want to hold your phone like this, boom, boom. And it does work with YouTube very, very well. So let me get a video here. Let's go with a TechVenture video. There it is. All right, so we'll just do the last video I have. There it is. All right, so as you can see, it's going, and then you can do whatever you want down here. You can choose the app you want. Yeah, so I did really like that, and like I said, you just have to keep holding it. You don't have to actually do it. As well as when you bring it back down, it's smart enough to know that you want to continue to scroll, or you can do comments, stuff like that. And then as soon as you open it again, it just goes back to full screen. So like I said, I really love that. It's probably one of my favorite features about this phone. As well as, still going back to this, you can actually use this phone like this. Can you believe that? So you can, if you wanted to, use the phone like that, and have the app up here and still have the video down there as well, which is honestly a surprise because I'm not gonna lie, it is uncomfortable to hold it this way. Like, who holds it like this? Like, what are you doing? Like, come on. I mean, I guess you're living in the future, but come on. Who's gonna hold a phone like that? It is cool though to know that you can use it both ways. You know, the more things. Something that isn't really a good thing. It's kind of like a gimmick. Is that I really actually kind of liked is, let's get out of here this real quick. Come on. Yeah, all right, there we go. So if it's in your pocket, let's say it's in your pocket, it's like this, and you put your hand in your pocket and you're walking, you can actually use this as like a fidget. You just fidget with it like this. It's really nice. You can also fidget with it if it's in your hand, like let's say you're just bored in class or something, or you're just bored. You can just fidget around with it. I really like that. So I don't know, it's a gimmick, but obviously it's like something else you can just do. And it's really, really fun. It is fun. It's funner than you'd expect. Now, you get all of this, and I see big screen, pop-up camera, all this stuff, and it's only $300 right now. So I got this one for $300 on Amazon. So technically, if you think about it, let's say you broke this back or the screen, because since, like I said, you have to fix it from the back going into the screen, so you do got to remove everything to fix that screen. Let's say you break it. I mean, technically, you could just buy another one. If you want a perfect condition one, like you know, brand new in box sealed, you might have to pay a little bit more than $300 because this one was obviously used. $300 from Amazon. Most Amazon ones are not brand new. But yeah, so I mean, $300 for a phone that has all these features, and yes, it is a year old. Oh, and I almost forgot, it's not slow. It is not slow at all, even though it's a year old as well. And the battery life is ridiculous. I would say it could probably get you through the whole day or even a little bit more than a day. Anything longer though, like if you forget to charge it overnight, I don't think it's gonna go past that, especially with this gigantic screen. But it did last me all day, and it sometimes when you used it minimally, you still had some juice left over. Now, what I do have to say about it is if I recommend it or I don't recommend it, and that verdict will go to how much you're kind of willing to save money on, because like I said, it's $300, but you do end up maybe paying more for repairs, or if you just decide to throw away and then upgrade then, yeah. But would I recommend it? Honestly, yes. As long as you obviously take care of your phone, I would highly recommend it. I know a lot of people disliked it, MKBHD, Unbox Therapy, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's, like I said, it has all these features. For a year-old phone, it's pretty good, and it's pretty cheap. So yes, I would recommend it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. You guys have a great day or night whenever you're watching this.